All right, new business. We have any?
Payment of bills. The next one.
All right.
We had some questions submitted. Scott?
Board book page 76, Arrigo for the Ceresco pool unit repair. There were circuits that kept tripping on the unit. Arrigo Mechanical had to replace a bad thermostatic expansion valve and had to pressure check the unit after they put in the valve. And then, as Dr. Skinkus said, the unit is scheduled to be replaced in the summer of 2019.
We aren't going to have to spend $10,000 or $20,000 more this year to make it last till it gets replaced.
We're hoping that we can nurse it along. There's no guarantee on it. That unit does run 24/7.
How old's that unit?
Not very old.
10.
10 years.
And what's the typical life on those?
We did talk with our engineer that's going to handle that project for this next summer, and he said 10 to 15 years is about right because there's no break. Your air conditioning handling units, they stop in the winter. Their boilers only could go to 1 or 2 boilers. You could scale your boilers back in the summer for just heating your water. That pool has to run 24/7, 365 because of the chlorine. So he said it is traditional, and then the fact that that's the repairs we've added over my tenure here have prolonged its life. But when I first got it, if you remember, we were restructuring the engine, trying to make it stronger. We redid the fan, the motor. So the thought was to try to get through this year and do it next summer because we would have to close the pool for about a month.
By the way, are we going to notify the people who use the pool in the summer plenty
Yes.
early that will be closed down?
We've talked with our water polo and swim coaches and our aquatics director, so we're shooting for the last week of July and the first 2 to 3 weeks of August before school starts. Because we will have to drain, if not all the pool, a portion of the significant portion of the school, the scaffold up over the pool.
Is there any pool repair items that are going to be addressed at that point if there's any issues with the
Well, we'll do
pool
another
itself?
inspection. We drained the entire pool, or 3/4 of the pool.
3/4 of it this summer.
Scrub tile, did some things. So, we have no immediate concerns that we're aware of.
So will that impact the girls' the girls' swim team? Because don't they start?
We think we should be, the
Mid-August?
goal is to try to get it by the first day of their camp.
Okay.
All right, other questions?
Yes, board book page 77.
Not gonna wait.
It'll be brand new water.
Clarity in numbers for $2,200.
Speak with you, Rob.
Per our district auditor, we needed a full actuarial report. Per GASB 75 requirements, that's our Government Accounting Standards Board. This report that they did was for other post-employee benefits other than pensions.
Isn't it a tiny account?
It is a small, significant,
I mean, how much isn't the amount of money, isn't it only like $10,000 or $50,000 or something in there?
it's about somewhere between $350 and $400, what the report
Plus
said.
$2,000.
So it'll be part of the audit report.
All right.
Board book page 80, Grand Prairie Transit for $23,000. This was our special education transportation costs for the month of August.
One thing Scott and I talked about today, going through these questions, is under the description, we're going to change it up a little bit, so whenever you see Grand Prairie, we'll make sure we put
It says
SPED transportation, and then when it's under first student, we could put FT/athletic, so you know that's for field trip and athletic transportation.
That's a good idea. Because now that you explained it, I know I asked that question recently before. Okay.
it should be clear. Board book page 83, Telcom Innovations Group for $20,000. This was service and support for the internal phone equipment for the next 3 years. It was budgeted in our FY19 budget. There was approximately $7,000 savings for doing the 3-year contract. Board book page 84, Rob Weinski, football camp injury prevention. The football team hired the outside vendor to come in and talk with our students about, obviously, injury preventions. This was used with some of the summer camp money on that, just to make sure that we're well educated on how to prevent injuries and not get any further injuries.
That wasn't what the question was. The question is, it's the same question. We paid a bunch of volleyball coaches out of the Impress. Did they go through the background check?
Yes, all summer camp workers or volunteers or camp coaches. We did pay some through Impress on that. With it, they will be getting 1099s later on in the year. Everyone went through a background check that got paid.
Then my second question is, why don't they have to be brought to the board to be approved if they're employees?
I
thought
treated
all
them. I
employees
treated
had-
them more as a paid service
You're giving them a
versus
1099, aren't you?
as a
Well, we give 1099s to officials.
officials
Oh,
and
do we?
Yes, so we don't bring officials to the board.
Okay.
But what we tend to bring to the board is any volunteer that's gonna do a season, any volunteer that's doing a stipend or a club throughout the year. But some of these summer camp kids are like seniors that graduated, so they'll come back for a week and work the kids camp before they go to college. So we make them have a background check on file.
I think you should check. The statute says the board has to approve hiring or firing of any employee. I don't think you can use your judgment to determine what the length of the service is and say, because of that person, it's not an employee of the district. I think every employee, even if it's only for a week, has to be approved. I think you should check
We
that.
could check on that, because that would run, they could be done with their services for
camp
4
could be
weeks before the
completely
board
over.
approved them. But that's okay, we'll check.
We'll check.
Right.
Okay, board book page 85 under winning streak, football gear, purchased coaching apparel for the coaching staff for football. They all got a polo, a hat, and a pullover. This was for about 12 to 15 coaches, including volunteers. This purchase aligns with historical purchases over the last 4 years. Okay. Moving on to the check listing under board book page 89 for printers. These were replacement printers for out-of-date units. They were too costly to repair or fix. Models and locations vary throughout the building. This is separate from our copier agreement that we have.
How do we decide which ones are under copy agreement and which ones we just replace?
The copiers are separate. That's like a completely different thing. The printer replacement's all based on our
But
tech
copiers
director.
are all printers nowadays. So
Yes.
A copier is a printer. So we have a big maintenance agreement for all these copies and printers. Who decides if we're replacing all these little printers? I mean, this was like $1,200 worth of printers. Does Mike have to approve them all, and Kristen or somebody?
Mike is the one that goes and does the inventory on all the printers that are in the classrooms or the labs. Those are all separate compared to our Canon
I think
copier
the
lease.
main thing he wants to make sure of is all this runs through IT.
It runs through IT.
So it's not any department saying, oh, I want a new printer, correct? It's all run through.
It's all approved
I
through.
worked for a $19 billion company, and they made us get rid of all the printers because they got bigger copiers and said you can walk to the corner of the building to get it. Now, that might not work in a school. Maybe you need a printer in every room. I don't know. But I do think we got to make sure we're testing that before we just, it doesn't work anymore, get a new one. I just hope we're doing that.
Yeah, we also certainly don't have printers in every
Every
room.
room.
I assume
But
not,
sometimes
but-
that we have them in department offices, so when a copier breaks, that they can still print and then take that to another copier that is in a different area of the
Okay.
building, so that's why we
So
have
they go
printers.
through the process.
It's just not cost effective at $150 an hour and some of this stuff to come out here.
Right.
Talking with Mike Connors, so that's why he replaces them versus trying to repair them.
Oh, I'm not questioning that they're not worth having a maintenance person repair them. I'm questioning whether we each time
Actually
decide,
need
do we
them.
really need to replace this one? It's worn out, throw it out,
Consolidate more to the copier.
consolidate. That's all.
Given they're all network printers, right?
Yeah.
The big ones we got are network printers, so all of a sudden there's like, well, maybe you don't need that. Why
Right.
do you need?
We did read a lot out about 4 or 5 years
That's
ago.
right, you did.
Because there was one in every classroom.
Right. And then, you know, phase 2.
Is there any other one, Scott?
Yes. Same page, Board Book 89, James Baum, the halftime show creation. This is an additional pay outside of his stipend for hours spent over the summer choreographing the halftime show. This started a few years ago, and it saves the district money by not having to hire an outside choreographer for the halftime show,
For what halftime show? For
for the football
Football.
games.
So we pay him a stipend to do it, and we pay him extra to prepare for it?
In the past, they were paying a choreographer to come in over the summer to prepare the routine. And then so we able to eliminate the payment of the choreographer and said we'll pay you some summer hours to choreograph the routine.
Thank you.
And
You answered all the other ones.
The other ones were
similar as
answered.
The coaching question. Thank you.
Okay? Ready for approval?
Any additional questions? No? Okay. Did we read the,
Mary Ann, did somebody already read the resolution?
read-
Resolved, the Board of
Resolution?
Education,
No,
Township
yeah.
High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois hereby approves the payment of bills as presented listed in the September 11, 2018 Board Agenda Packet.
Second. Vote.
Ms. Sierra?
Yes.
Mr. Smithing?
Yes.
Ms. Towner?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Ms. Ruska?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Richard?
Yes.